This is Pranav Guha Thakursar from Edu TV, Middle East. Today, we have Madam Fatima Martin with us. She's a principal of GEM's New Millennium School, Dubai, UAE. I think she's doing a wonderful job out there. She has taken up the school in a very nice manner. And we would like to have her advice, not only her students, all the students who have written their examinations in 2021 and their examinations are cancelled, their assessment will be done as per the our most reliable CBSC. And ma'am, I would like to have your advice for the universities how they can smoothen the process. Like in India itself, only we have got a lot of university where we have got on the basis of marks, then they have their own examination, like for NEET, JEE, and other things, NID, NIFT. And in abroad, ma'am, I'm sure a lot of students go abroad. And in abroad, ma'am, they look forward for internships. They look forward for community services. They look forward their resume. They look forward for their marks also. So, what do you suggest, ma'am? How things can be eased?
So, surprisingly, in the Western universities, none of the intake has stopped
Right.
because of the pandemic. All of the students who applied in Western universities have received conditional offers. And with the condition being either that as soon as we get the CBSE grading, that they have to have the same grades as in their predicted grades. So the schools have been able to do predicted grades, and universities have one, if they have looked at grades as a prerequisite, then they have considered that. But if they've looked at a holistic profile, which also that schools in the Middle East have really been up and about despite all of the restrictions, to give the students the same footing as we would in before the pre-COVID days. So but in the Indian universities, apparently, because a lot happens in a very competitive manner, limited number of seats, and academics is a huge marker to decide their entry to a specific course or to a specific university. It's a different ball game totally. So, but I think that that there should be no more time wasted, and universities have to come up with a parallel dimension of looking at those holistic skills, because number one, every school has a moral compass. Every school is driven by a moral compass. It doesn't really matter geographically where we are placed. Teachers will be teachers, irrespective of whatever their level of qualification and understanding of pedagogy. I think the moral campus and the values that holds us is very high. And as a school, as a unit, they will definitely adhere to the regulations and the whole equivalence around integrity. So I think universities should at the moment honor that code of integrity and take in grades which the schools are giving, and then look at all of the other things that come in with the child's resume. Now, what I do understand is that some of the universities which are like the top ranking universities in India may not have the that system prior, because 97% was the cutoff or 98% was the cutoff. So well, you had your grade, you entered the grade, did the blue ticks appear, and then the person got in. But I think it's really a time to change that, that whole herd mentality that exists in the education system.
Right.
And look at students as individuals, look at applications individually, have mechanisms in place to evaluate each one's potential and to value each one's potential. So a real overhaul needs to be done, and which is, I think, the ideal time to do it now, given the need of the hour. A lot of work. It's a lot of work to place in systemic changes, but I don't think we can do without it. So really a leap for us to draw from Western universities, which are prepared for a situation of this kind, and we have to do it, I think, ASAP. No more time should be lost in doing it, because students who are going to the West, I don't see that apprehension. But students who are waiting to go back to India, it is, and with all good faith in the Indian education system, there is a lot more apprehension, which we can easily, do away with, and then create those avenues for them to secure their tertiary education.
You're quite correct. I think within couple of months or years, I think things will be in proper place, ma'am. And I'm
Yeah.
sure, like the way, I'm sure your students must have started attending classes online also abroad. I suppose in the foreign
Yeah,
university.
yeah. Those the students who graduated in 2020, March, April of 2020, they had their intake for September of 2020,
Yes.
and so the good thing about those students were is that they had their grades. I mean, only some exams were cancelled, and then they immediately had a criteria of how we had school-based assessments,
Yeah.
and the report sheets all went. So university acceptances in India wasn't difficult. So students who've joined universities in India have started online classes, and they're going on with it. But it is the students of the current batch, who are completely left in limbo because of lack of information, especially from those who are joining Indian universities. So, hopefully, they see. I mean, I'm thinking that they will just go the old route. So they will, because CBSE has done a good job in, in setting up a process for us to provide them with grade 10 results. So I think that will be extrapolated for grade 12. More or less the same factors and norms will kick in. And once, grade 12 results are published, I think universities will go with, those results. And then, the intake will eventually happen. But the question is that, do we want to keep going that tried and tested route? Or is it time for us to review our practices, review this whole proposition around assessments and how better we could do it to develop personality of the students, rather than just their affinity to score.
Scores. Correct.
So these are questions that we should be thinking in the big picture.